disease. Screening is defined as the search for unrecognized disease or defect by means of rapidly applied tests, examination, or other procedures in apparently healthy individuals. It is done in the healthy individuals, not in the sick people. And to recognize, to search for unrecognized means the hidden diseases are being organized. A test done in individuals with no symptoms or signs of an illness are referred to as screening tests. So, whatever the test is being applied, it is known as screening test. Screening refers to the application of a medical procedures or test to people who yet have no symptoms of particular disease for the purpose of determining likelihood of having the disease. The screening procedures think that it itself does not diagnose the illness. It is not for the diagnosis purpose, and who have a positive result from the screening test will need further evaluation with the subsequent diagnostic test or the procedure. So for diagnosis of the disease, the further tests are to be, for the confirmation, the further tests are to be done. The basis of screening means how the screening can be done. Like the ice, here the we can have the iceberg phenomenon of disease that you have already studied, that the some of the most very less amount of the disease are diagnosed, and the otherwise the so many the major portion of the disease it is being unrecognized. So to recognize that unrecognized diagnosed disease, that we are doing the screening. Major submerged portion of iceberg phenomenon of disease consists of hidden burden of disease. These are subclinical cases, carriers, undiagnosed cases. These are the cases which can spread the disease into the other people. Constitute a mass of unrecognized disease in the community and responsible for the constant prevalence of the disease. Means constant they are going to increase the disease culture in the community. Detection and control is a challenge if the disease is. Other basis of screening is the stages of natural history of the disease. It has susceptibility, which is precedes exposure to the causal agents, subclinical, preclinical disease, the stage of disease that follows exposure to the agent but is before symptoms are apparent, that is incubation period, and clinical disease, the stage of disease associated with sign and symptom, recovery, disability or death, the stage at which the disease resolution happens. So the susceptibility and the subclinical phase of the disease is more crucial period for the screening. This is like the same way we have just shown it, preclinical phase and clinical phase, where we can screen in the preclinical phase. Lead time. Detection program should be restricted to those conditions in which there is considerable time lag between disease onset and usual time of diagnosis, that is incubation period. Lead time is advantages gained by the screening, the period between diagnosis by early detection and diagnosis by other means. The other ways for screening is that it's a form of secondary prevention. It detects disease in its earliest asymptomatic phase, whereby early treatment can be given and the disease can be cured, or its progression can be delayed. It has both diagnostic as well as the therapeutic components. Difference between the screening test and the diagnostic test. Screening tests are done on apparently healthy individuals and diagnostic tests on sick or ill individuals. The screening test is applied on group of the people, and it is a diagnostic test is done on a single patient. Thus, in the screening test, the results are arbitrary and the final. And in the diagnostic test, the diagnosis is not final. Maybe that for the diagnosis, to confirm the diagnosis, the further several tests can be done. Then based on one criterion cutoff, like one cutoff is there and one criteria is set up, and then only the screen test is it is in whether it's a positive or it's negative. Then it is for the diagnostic test, it is been based on the evaluation of number of signs and symptoms and the lab findings. The screening tests are less accurate, and diagnostic tests are more accurate. The screening tests are less expensive, and the diagnostic tests are more expensive. And screening tests mostly they are the not a basis for the treatment, but diagnosis tests are the basis for the treatment. On this, the diagnostic test only, the treatment can be started. Then, for the screening test, initiatives come from the investigators or the health for care providers. But diagnostic tests are mostly it is been initiatives by the patient, because they come with the complaint and they want to get the diagnosis done. Objectives of screening. So why we screen as a community health nurse, we should have it to reduce morbidity and mortality from the disease by detecting the disease in their early stage when treatment is usually more successful. So to sort out those having the disease and those not having the disease from a group of apparently healthy individuals, so we can find out whether they are likely to have a disease or they are not having the disease. Then to provide treatment to those detected persons so that the disease is controlled in the community. Like any of the disease which is there, if we are detecting it in the persons in the early stage, so we can control it in early stage. So early detection, that way it is helping. Uses of screening: case detection, control of disease, research purpose, and educational purpose. Now, what are the uses? That is case detection. Like it is also known as prescriptive screening, defined as presumptive identification of unrecognized disease which does not arise from patient request. Neonatal screening we can have it, diabetic screening can have it, cancer screening we can have it, HIV test screening we can have it. The diseases sought include breast cancer, cervical cancer, diabetes, tuberculosis, and hypertension, etc. Then initiated by medical and public health personnel, they are under special obligation to make sure that appropriate treatment is started early. Uses of screening here again to control the disease, also known as prospective screening. People are examined by benefit of others. Screening of immigrants from infectious diseases such as tuberculosis, syphilis, streptococcus infection. Like today also we are doing the corona test for the who are coming from the other states or other countries. The screening program may, by leading the early diagnosis, permit more effective treatment and reduce the spread of infectious disease or mortality from the disease. So here, when we are screening the for the any of the disease, it means we are having the early diagnosis, then effective treatment we are giving. So we are like preventing the spread of infection, and of course the mortality and morbidity we are reducing it. Uses of screening, again the educational purpose, it is for the create the awareness to the people by giving health education by professionals, as well as like example we can have a screening for the diabetes, screening for the we are creating the awareness. The other uses, that is for research purpose, like this help in obtaining basic knowledge from natural history of the chronic disease. Then initial screening provides prevalence estimate and subsequent screening and incidence figure. So how many cases are there? There we can understand that how much time it takes from the infection to the sign and symptoms. What are the what is the prevalence of the disease? What are the incidence rate, etc. So, where the screening is done for this research purpose, the investigator should inform the study participant no follow-up therapy will be available. Here we have to tell them that there should not be any treatment should not will not be provided to them. The screening outcome, how it is actually done, like here we can say apparently healthy person, we are doing a screening test. The individual may be having the disease or probability they don't have the disease. Now if they are not having the disease, they are periodically they are being screened. But if they have the disease, the different other diagnostic tests are being done. And if there also again the possibility the person may have the disease or may not have the disease, then if they are having the disease, treatment has proper treatment is to be given. And if they don't have the disease, then they should be under surveillance and the periodic screening should be done further. The types of screening, if they are the different types: mass screening, high risk screening, multi-purpose screening, multi-phase screening, and opportunistic screening. Now we are going through all the other like the mass screening. The application of screening tests to large or whole population. Mass means whole large population. Then unselected population. and everyone in the group is screened regardless of probability of having the disease or condition. It may be any person, like one group we are screening, so all the persons in the group will be screened for this. Like the visual defect in school children, mammography in women age 40 years or less, or newborn screening program. So these are the some of the examples of giving the having the mass screening. The second is the high risk or selective or targeted screening. It means only the high risk groups are being they are being screened. The screening is most productively applied selectively to high risk group defined on epidemiological research. The diseases tend to aggregate in families, so screening other members of family can detect additional cases. Like if the mother of a girl is having a breast cancer, so the she's also the daughter is also at the risk for getting the breast cancer, so she should be screened. The example of other screenings are like screening fetus for the Down syndrome in a mother who already had a baby with Down syndrome. So already the mother has the Down syndrome, baby is having the Down syndrome, the other next baby also might be having it. So that's why for this mother, the screening during the pregnancy is very important. The screening for the familial cancer, hypertension or diabetic mellitus, like screening for the cancer cervix in low socioeconomic status women, it is because it is very high in the low socioeconomic status, so the cervical screening should be done. The screening for the HIV in high risk group. The next is the multiphasic screening. Defined as the application of two or more screening tests in combination to large number of people at one time than to carry out separate screening tests for a single disease. So here the so many diseases can be it can be screened at a time. The procedures include health questionnaire, clinical examination, and range of measurements and investigations. So multiple tests, like you can have the ask the questions, you can collect the history, you can examine the patient, and another investigations also you can do it. So these examples are like the diabetes mellitus and the fasting blood sugar and the glucose tolerance test. Both the tests can be done, and for sickle cell anemia like CBC and HB electrophoresis can be done. Now, the recently multiphasic screening has not shown any benefit to population in terms of mortality and morbidity reduction. Rather, it has increased the cost of health services without any observable benefits. The screening test divides the apparently healthy population into two groups: those probably having the disease and those probably not having the disease. The first group in then open subject to history taking, clinical examination, diagnostic test. We divide this group into two subgroups: those who have the disease requiring treatment, those not having the disease requiring surveillance and periodic screening, as we have already studied. Like here you can see the example for population examination of urine for sugar is being done. Then person with the negative results and person with the positive result. Then if the urine sugar is present, then the random blood sugar level is being checked. Persons may be having the random blood sugar glucose level less than 120 milligram percentage, and person with the blood glucose more than 120 milligram. It means they might be having the diabetes. So oral further this the oral glucose tolerance test is being done. Then blood glucose sugar may be like less than 120 milligram percentage after 2 hours of the like PP sugar. Then blood glucose sugar may be 120 to 180 milligram percentage, and blood sugar level more than 120 gram after 2 hours of the glucose. Then what happens if it is less than 120? The person is non-diabetic. If the blood sugar is between 120 to 180, it means impaired glucose tolerance is there. And if it is the sugar is more than 180, the patient is being termed as a diabetic patient. Multi-purpose screening, the screening of a population by more than one test done simultaneously to detect more than one disease. For example, screening for a pregnant woman for the VDRL test, HIV, HPV, or hepatitis B for the serological test, it is done. Like for at a time itself, the multiple tests are been done for the to screen out the some of the problems in the patient. Then is opportunities or case finding screening. There is no accurate and precise diagnostic test for this disease, and where the frequency of its occurrence in the population is very small, because when the persons are coming, and they are taken for the screening, and some tests have been done. So that is called as the opportunity screening. And the main objective is to detect the disease and bring patient to the treatment. Common screening tests which are being done are hemoglobin percentage, pap smear, mammography, clinical breast examination, blood pressure determination, cholesterol level, eye examination, vision test, and urine analysis. These are the tests which are done in the during different periods. That is pregnancy. During pregnancy, the anemia, it is being screened for anemia, hypertension, toxemia, RS status, syphilis, cardiovascular disease, neural tube defects, Down syndrome, and HIV. During infancy, the we screen for the congenital heart disease, spina bifida, visual defect, hypothyroidism, hemoglobinopathies, sickle cell anemia. During the middle age, for men and women, they are for hypertension, cancer, diabetes mellitus, serum cholesterol. And in the elderly people, it is being screened for the nutritional disorders, cancers, glaucoma, and cataract. Criteria for the screening is, it may be on the three aspect, that is disease. It should be an important public health problem. It means there should be a high prevalence and the serious, maybe it's very fatal. It should be recognized in an early or latent phase, or it can be natural history of the disease is well understood. It means we know that what type of disease it is, how it spreads, and how much time it has an incubation period, etc. So early detection and treatment can affect the course of the disease. So it is important that the test which should be done, it should be safe, accurate, it should be cost effective and suitable and acceptable to the people. The treatment is available and for the diagnostic test, and it should be agreed to the policy of the treatment. Here we can again see that the disease, how what criteria it should follow. In screening for disease, a prior decision is made about the cutoff points. The cutoff point means, like I have explained you, that for the diabetes it is 140 milligram of blood sugar is a cutoff point. Okay, so we should have a cutoff point. Then the following factors are taken into consideration, like the disease prevalence. When the prevalence is high in the community, its screening level is set at a lower level, which will increase the sensitivity. Like for the screening, though we are saying that the diabetic is a 140, it's a cutoff. But if the prevalence is more, it means at 120 itself we can keep the cutoff. So it will increase the sensitivity. The disease is very lethal, or the early detection markedly improves the prognosis. A greater degree of sensitivity, even at the expense of specificity, is desired. Then it should be like the public health. It should have a public health importance. The recognizable early stage. Disease can be diagnosed before the onset of sign and symptoms. The facilities available to confirm diagnosis, must be effective treatment, and disease with treatment and good prognosis. The screening test should be simple, safe, cheap, and rapidly applied. It means very fast we can do it. Then acceptable by the people. If it is not acceptable, if people are not willing, it will be very difficult. Then it should be reliable, it should be repeatable and reproducible. So it should be giving the correct readings. The test must satisfy the criteria of acceptability, repeatability, and validity. We will study what is acceptability, repeatability, and validity. Acceptability, since a high rate of cooperation is necessary, it is important that the test should be acceptable to the people at whom it is being aimed, or for whom it is being done. Then repeatability, it means the test must give consistent result when repeated more than once. It depends on three major factors, like the observer variance, biological variation, and errors related to technical methods. So whenever the test is being done for 3 times, it should be giving the more consistent results. The result should be same. Comes with the observer variation. There are of two types: inter-observer and inter-observer. Inter-observer variation, when the single observers take two measurements in the same subject at the same time, and each time he obtains a different result. This is termed as intra-observer or within-observer variation. So it may be whatever the variation is coming, it should be, we have to observe that. Inter-observer variation, this is variation between the different observers on the same subject or material, also known as between observer variation. Then next is the biological subject variation. There is a biological availability associated with many physiological variables such as BP, blood sugar, serum cholesterol, etc. The test which is being done, the fluctuation in the various measures in the same individual may be, it may be due to the change in parameter observed, uh, like the cervical smears taken from the same woman may be normal on one day and abnormal on the other day. Maybe like the variant in the way patient will perceive their symptoms and answers. Maybe when you are asking the questions, at that time the patient is perceiving some symptoms and the answers may be varying. Then regression to mean, it means the from the mean it degrades, means it is the values are differing. There is a tendency for values at the extreme of distribution to grade towards the mean or average on repeat measurement. So if it is very near to the mean, if we can some degree we can accept it, but if it is vast differences there, it won't be. The elevated like example, elevated serum cholesterol is associated with high risk of developing coronary heart disease. In this way, preventive measures can be applied before the disease occurs. Errors relating to technical methods, like the repeatability, may be affected by the variations inherent in the method, like the defective instruments can be defective, or calibration may be defected or error. Then the faulty reasons may be faulty, like for the glucose test, you are doing the using the urine sugar. If you are using a reason that if it is not proper, it will not give a good result. The test inappropriate or unreliable. Sometimes if they test, whatever the test you are doing, it may not be very correct or unreliable. Validity. The term validity refers to what extent a test accurately measures which its purpose to measure. It means validity expresses the ability of a test to separate or distinguish those who have the disease from those who do not. So we want to say that what extent means how accurately the test is being giving the result. Validity has two components. One is sensitivity and specificity. When assessing the accuracy of a diagnostic test, one must consider both these components. Both measures are expressed in percentage. Sensitivity and specificity are used to determine applying the test. No to one group of persons having disease and to a reference group not having the disease. So now, if you see the this diagnosis, how for the result of this for the screening, it may be that disease persons are not disease and total. The positive may be true positive, false positive, and total positive. Negative may be false negative and true negative and total negative. Total may be total disease A and C. The total non-disease persons may be B or D, or grand total may be A, B, C, D. Here. To evaluate screening tests, following measures are used: sensitivity, specificity, predictive value of positive test, predictive value of negative test, percentage of false negative, percentage of false positive. Sensitivity, introduced by Yerushimi as statistic index of diagnostic accuracy. It is defined as the ability of tests to identify correctly all those who have the disease, that is true positive. So sensitivity is equal to true positive cases divided by true positive cases plus false negative cases multiplied by 100. Specificity, it is defined as ability of the test to correctly identify those not having the disease, that is true negative. The specificity is equal to true negative cases divided by false positive cases and plus true negative cases multiplied by 100. Predictive accuracy. The probability of having the disease given the result of a test is called the predictive value of the test. Performance of screening test is measured by its predictive value, which reflects diagnostic power of the test. Predictive accuracy depends upon sensitivity, specificity, and the disease prevalence. More prevalent a disease in a given population, more accurate will be the predictive value of a positive screening test. Here we can give predict value of positive tests, that is the you are having the disease. Is again it is A is for the positive cases, B is false positive cases. So it can be divided, A is divided by A plus B. Okay, and it is given as a percentage. Screening test for negative test where the true negative cases, D stands for the true negative cases and C is the for the false negative cases. False positive, which patients who do not have the disease are told that they have the disease, means maybe they are not having the disease, but that disease is been in the test they have been declared that they are positive for this. It causes, what happens when it is there, it causes inconvenience, discomfort, anxiety and expense to normal healthy people. Because what happens, if suppose a person is not having the disease, but it is being told that you have this disease, maybe like corona, then how much the patient will have, feel discomfort, anxiety, he will run here where they will have the anxiety for that everyone should not get the infected, etc. The screening test with high specificity will have few false positive cases. False positive cases are the can be have like this. We can calculate false positive cases and true negative cases, where B stands for false positive and B stands for true negative cases. False negative means where the patients are actually have the disease and are told that they do not have the disease. So patient might ignore the development of signs and symptoms and may postpone the treatment. So they are very free, like we don't have the disease. So they can have a they can feel a negligence about it. The screening test, which is very sensitive, has few false negative. A lower the sensitivity, larger number of false negative. False negative cases, where C is false negative cases and A is true positive cases. So we can have a C upon A plus C and multiplied by 100 to have a percentage. That is proportion of a false positive is tolerable, but no false negative cases should not be tolerable. On the other hand, in a prevalent disease like diabetes, for which treatment does not markedly alter outcome, specificity must be high and false positive should be limited. Now, what is yield? It is the amount of unrecognized disease that is detected and brought to treatment as a result of screening. It depends on prevalence of the disease and sensitivity of the screening test. Hence, yield of a screening test is high in high-risk screening, and by limiting diabetes screening program to persons over 40 years, so we can yield a lot of we can have a amount of yield. Now, for evaluation of the screening program, the methods are that it may be experimental and non-experimental. Experimental methods are like uh, the conduct of RCT, or it's a randomized clinical trial on the screening test to compare the disease specific cumulative mortality rate between the intervention and control group, and this also eliminates confounding, allow study of the distribution of lead time, effects of early treatment, and identification of prognostic factors. So non-experimental are the like the cohort studies, a comparison of advanced disease or the rate in those who choose to screen and those who do not. Case control studies can be done, comparison of screening history in those who have advanced disease and those who are healthy. Ecological study, correlation of screening pattern and disease experience of the several populations can be done. Thank you.